Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take another look here at Matic, see kind of what's going on, and help identify where we're going to be next. It's looking very good here so far, and let's go ahead and try to anticipate that. Now, big picture, just so you know, I love teaching people how to trade. This is for educational purposes, and just know that I love doing this every day for a living. It's a very feasible thing, okay? You just got to have good risk tolerance, good management, essentially, and I help, help you become a better trader. Hopefully that's the goal of these videos. And that's why I created a trading community and a trading academy. So consider joining CryptoCache.tech. Really awesome experience to be able to help you become ultimately just better. I send out signals for every single trade that I take, but I just recently released a trading academy, a series of videos to help you get a foundation so you can become a better trader. So there's no use building on these advanced skill sets that I share with you if you don't know what you're doing in the first place, right? So check that out in your own time. I've had wonderful feedback so far. Thank you so much to my current members that have let me know your thoughts. Greatly appreciate that. Looking at Matic here, 1-day chart. Let's go ahead and work our way down and see what's going on. So we're underneath and above the 200 and the 50-day set moving average, right? So we don't need to worry about the 50 just yet, but it is coming down here, so it could work as a resistance, and it may effectively intersect with the price action around $2 here soon. So we'll keep an eye on that. But for right now, we're up over the 200, which is extremely important. We're back up over 50 on the RSI too, and we got plenty of room for growth here. So awesome stuff here. We can see a lot more room there for potential, because once we hit 70 on the RSI on the 1-day, usually that's a tentative resistance initially. But we're past that key level resistance of 50 on the RSI, which is extremely important. So we blasted right through 185, which was a potential resistance level on the Fibonacci. So good stuff there in that sense. All good things here for Matic. I like what I see in the macro so far. Of course, most coins right now have really good macro because they're starting to, they've had 3 or 4 days worth of bullish continuation. It's nice to see that for a change. And Bitcoin, I don't feel like Bitcoin's falsely increased right now. I do think that our new lowest point should be 41.5, 42,300, based on the recent, how well it's done very, at that specific price point. We built a lot of volume at that price, and it helps us with that foundation. Again, foundation is key, and Matic has that too. If you look at this here, a lot of volume accumulation right in the range here of 163 to 175. It's extremely important. In fact, if we zoom out even a little further, I think we'll see more volume at that point. So ever since Matic has been retracing, that's where this Fibonacci retracement levels were drawn from, back here on what was that? It was roughly January 20th, about 2 weeks of trading data, 2.5. We have a lot of volume here at this price point. So that's awesome to see, kind of building that, right? So good stuff there for Matic. I like that. So the 4 hours definitely looking very good. Let's look at the RSI. It is a bit on the overextended side, but we see this a lot right now. All we want is for the price to kind of consolidate, preferably closer to resistance here, and then leg up again. But we want about 24 hours worth of consolidation from Matic before we see any more further increase. And the reason why is because being up over 70 on the RSI on the 4 hour, I wouldn't say it's a concern, but it's definitely something that's potentially problematic, where the price could come back down if it were to stay up there for too long, or just more importantly, it can stay up there as long as it wants, rather. It just, as long as we don't get any more further push to the upside, right? Because again, we're overextended there in that sense. Taking a look at the TD sequential though, if we look, we're at a 6. Technically speaking, according to TD sequential, which is fairly accurate in most cases, we could see a 9 for TD sequential here, and we saw a 9 here previously, followed by a steady consolidation. So this literally could consolidate, or it could try to leg up again and essentially consolidate as well. So for lack of better terms, we have about 12 to 16 hours worth of continuation of the upside. I don't think that'll happen, or it shouldn't happen, just based on this 4-hour leg. It's a very strong leg up and a lot of volume in a short amount of time, right? So we just got to be careful. Tremendous amount of volume. We could see the retracement / consolidation based on that sentiment. Okay. But all in all, good stuff here. I don't really see anything negative on the 4-hour chart, except for the fact that it is overextended. And this is, again, this is very tentative for the moment, but keep in mind, I try not to worry about this in the 1 hour. We have a potential bull flag here pattern kind of forming, where the price comes up, starts waving into a flag, and usually legs up again. That's typically how it works. Is that going to happen specifically? No, maybe not. But we did see that previously, right? I saw a little flag pattern here that eventually broke to the upside. So there is potential for that. But again, this being a 1 hour time frame, I try not to identify patterns on short time frames. I think it's important to identify patterns on 4-hour charts or higher. Just my personal opinion, but again, to each their own. But that being said, we're consolidating here right at about 195, so it could either leg up or leg down, honestly. Ultimately, we want to see some sideways action, though. There's just no other way around it. It's important to see that. Because if you look at TD sequential, we came up to a 7, and we're getting a reset. If we can just keep it going sideways for some time, we'll be okay. Ichimoku Cloud is also going to give us a significant signal to not sell our position yet. This is a conservative indication, but the price just goes say sideways for 24 more hours. We might get a consideration to want to close our position, but the cloud really is null and void right now. When you have these significant increases, it doesn't really help you to identify that. What's important is to identify key level support and resistance zones. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at that and just kind of call it a day here. So first of all, if we kind of look at this here, the most recent Fibonacci retracement level is 220. So if the price comes up to 220 soon, we can expect a pullback. Now, I don't think it will happen. I think we're going to probably see about 24 hours of consolidation and then an increase. We may even see a leg down. So if we see the price come down to 185, try not to be overly concerned. That'd actually be perfectly fine. That'd be very healthy. It would still give us a higher highs and higher lows. But best case scenario here for Matic, again, because a lot of folks like to hear the best case scenario, considering the fact that we broke our all-time high recently and got stopped out, we could very well see somewhere in the range of $3 in the next couple of weeks. Now, I'm saying that because obviously we've got a lot of room to grow between now and then. That's not even, I don't even think you should walk away from this conversation thinking that. But I do think $3 is possible this month or next month from Matic specifically. And the main reason why is just because it's done very well in the past. It broke its all-time high at that range. And then right there, late December, when Bitcoin started to struggle, Matic did as well because it was overextended. So that's why we need to build a solid foundation of volume. In fact, why don't we take a look at volume now that we're zoomed out here and kind of see where we're at? Because again, most amount of volume is below the price action right now, between 130 and 160. That's excellent. Price comes down, it'll bounce off 160. But we need to understand that there's less volume essentially higher here, which is good, but there's a bit of a volume amount at about 210. So we could see a pullback at 210. That might be a possibility. Again, it's hard to really say specifically with this kind of data based on the fact that we're, our 1 day candlestick right now so far is up, almost about 20%, right? So that's a pretty decent amount of growth. So again, hypothetically, $3 is realistic, but we got to get past 220 first, and then obviously see what happens when we get closer to the resistance at about 280. So a lot of room for growth there. So try not to, take away the wrong things from this conversation. We need to see some consolidation before we get a next leg up. We could see another little potential bull flag breakout on the 1 hour. That would bring us up closer to about between 2 and 220. But I do think that 220 is going to be a major resistance, and we're going to have some trouble passing this zone. So just be mindful that when we travel into that area, we could see a lot of turbulence, so to speak. The price will likely consolidate there. One last thing to note, Bitcoin is close to a correction right now. And I'm not saying it's going to just correct and come way back down. It might just go sideways and stay there for a while. But it's at about 44,000 right now, and it's testing 44,000, 44,500. And if it were to come back down, it could come down as low as 42,300. That's the next available support level for Bitcoin. If that were to happen, just note, Matic could very well correct itself down to 185 or even 175. Those two things happen, it's not the end of the world. That'd be a great place to dollar cost average, add to your position. Okay, so again, not in bad shape here at all, but Matic, just know we're going to see some resistance here soon because we've seen nothing but 20, 30, almost 40% increase in the last 4 trading days. That's a lot of movement, all things considered. All right, so just know what goes up must come down. We could very well see Matic come down potentially a little bit, and it wouldn't be the worst thing if that happens. I hope you found benefit here. Of course, you want to become a better trader. CryptoCache.tech is the website. Essentially, again, have a trading academy, community, and I send out signals for every trade that I take. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Thank you.